Clayton. My name is Jeannie. My question is this. I have one liability, which is my home, my mortgage, which I just refinanced about 2 months ago at a 2.7% interest. And I don't have any car loans or payments. I don't have any credit card debt. I pay those down at the end of every month. I don't have student loans. Um, I also invest in stocks. I just started crypto, very small, just dabbling in Doge. But my question is, every month, fortunately, I am fortunate enough to put away a good amount of my salary into savings, which I know, according to your Morning Invest, don't do that. But my question is, should I take the money that I have extra at the end of each month and pay down my mortgage, or do I invest with it? Um, I've always been told that you want your money to work for you. So if you're paying down your mortgage, it's not really doing anything other than, and obviously paying down your mortgage, which isn't a bad thing, but is it better to invest, buy something, put it in the stock market and hopefully, you make some money off of that? So that's my question. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. So, really great questions there. And I think you kind of, in some ways, you already answered your question, right? Which is you want your money to work for you, don't you? And so if your money is paying down a liability that you're living in and it's not cash flowing, then it's not working for you, right? Which is one of the reasons that I argue against even buying the house that you live in, because that's a liability. Now, unless you're living in a duplex and you're renting out one side of it, then that's a cash flowing asset, and the tenant on the other side is paying for your mortgage. So we're beyond that. You own your own house, okay? Now, how do we turn that into a performing asset? Now, I wrote a whole book on how to pay off your mortgage in 5 years or less. It's on Amazon. Get the one with the blue cover. If you do buy it, it's a short read. It's about 110 pages. You'll read it in one night. Got over 700 five-star reviews. So go check it out on Amazon. It's how to pay. It's only $4.99. How to pay off your mortgage in 5 years, using a strategy the banks don't want you to know about. And in there, we talk about the strategy of going after your mortgage using a couple of different tools. In your tool belt. But I'm of the opinion that yes, you can do both. So my answer is yes, Jeannie. You can, yes. You can both pay off your mortgage, okay? At the same time, you're also investing. Now, but I would caution you as to what you're investing in. So if you're able to put money aside and you're able to put money towards like a down payment, for instance, like I always use my properties that we build at Morris Invest as a template. So forgive me, but that's what I know. We build 600 properties. We work with clients. I know these numbers inside and out. So when you buy one of our new construction properties, rental properties, you're going to need about $45,000 down payment. Okay. And then we have financing built in with the banks for the rest. So now to come to the table with like 40 or 45 that you've saved up gives you a cash flowing asset in your portfolio. Cash flow now coming in. Now imagine doing that again. The cash flow comes in, you're still saving some money, but you're also paying down your primary mortgage a little bit using my strategy, which is to kind of put a big chunk of money at a time towards that principal balance to reduce your overall timeline. Then you continue to put money down, save money up, and then have another down payment, buy another rental property. Now, before you know it, you have 3 or 4 properties. So look, again, I don't know how much you have to work with. And if you're just putting like 2,000, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, and Dogecoin you mentioned, and some other things, great. I mean that's some small savings right now that you're kind of building up and playing with in the stock market and things like that. Fine, fine. But I would also think about this primary residence. There is an argument to be made to no, don't pay it down at all. Like 2.7% interest. If you don't plan on leaving your job and you've got the income and you're going to stay there for many years, don't pay that off yet. Or maybe just make one extra payment and then use that extra cash towards buying other performing assets. And I'm not talking the stock market. Stock market is not a performing asset, okay? Those are paper assets. So if it were in my situation, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what to do with your money. But if it were me, I would be trying to pay down my mortgage as much as I could. That made sense. But I'd be taking some of that cash and putting it towards buying other real estate, cash flowing real estate. If it were also my situation, I would also look at the equity that I have in that primary residence. Remember, you cannot eat equity. So that house might be sitting on $100,000 in equity. Well, guess what? $100,000 in equity is virtually, if you got a home equity line of credit, that's like 2 down payments on rental properties. So you could literally do like 40 and 40, 45 and 45 and buy 2 rental properties that are cash flowing. And now you could pretend like you don't even own those properties. And that cash flow you could use literally to fire at your primary balance of your mortgage. So now you've added to your net worth with 2 additional properties, and you're using the cash flow that you don't need right now because you're young and you know that cash, you don't need it. Pretend like you don't even have it, like you got a raise and you didn't even notice you had it, and use that cash flow to fire it at your primary balance of your mortgage on your property that you own. Or don't, right? Or take that cash flow from those 2 new properties that you now own and, build up that next nest egg of a down payment and then buy a 3rd property and then a 4th. And then don't ever pay off your primary mortgage, pay it off in 30 years when the bank, at the end of the day, the bank let you buy a property, okay, with their money at 2.7%, which by the way is virtually 0% interest when you account for inflation, 0. So it's up to you if you want to try to convert that into a performing asset by using a home equity line of credit, fire a little bit at it. But I'm giving you all the options here. I'm not giving you one answer because it's a personal decision. So I think you need to sit down and figure this out by yourself, like what would you be comfortable with? And then go from there. But there's a couple of different strategies. I hope that at least we've sparked some curiosity in you. Again, read the book. We'll have a link in the show description for you to go check out our book on how to pay off your mortgage in 5 years. I think there's some strategies in there. It's been an updated version for some of the new tax laws as well. So it's current, it's up to date. The blue cover, not the yellow one. The yellow one's the older one. And hopefully that'll help you on this path. If you'd like to ask a question, remember, try to keep it to 30 seconds or less. That way we can be very concise in our questions and answers. By going to morrisinvest.com/Clayton is how you can leave us a voicemail message. And we'll be back here next time, everyone. Now go out there, take action, and become a real estate investor. I believe it's the #1 way to build wealth. We'll see you next time.